Thank you for joining me today. So today's technique video, I'm taking a look at the makeup blending brushes and the clarity brushes that came out. I want to say what it was like, what, last year or something like that. So I have 4 sheets of paper. We're going to do 4 different color combos. And we're going to try out each one and see what results happen and which ones we like the best. So I'm going to start here with that's the crushed olive with the fossilized amber and broken china. And I'm starting with the crushed olive on the bottom using the clarity brush. And I know my hand looks like it's going crazy fast, but it's only because I obviously sped up the video. But what I'm doing is, for the most part, I'm just going backwards and forth in smooth motions, trying to get as even of a coat as I can. And I'm cleaning my brush because I'm thinking, well, I would just use the same one for the fossilized amber for my next color, which I do, but I wind up getting a third brush out because it's just easier when you're blending with 3 different colors. If you have a tool for each of the colors, it just makes it a little bit easier. And see, I grabbed the smaller of the clarity brushes to help with the blending between fossilized amber and the crushed olive. And then on top, I'm taking my largest of the clarity brushes and I'm going to be going backwards and forth with the broken china. And I would say, having done this, the clarity brushes are definitely for the lighter touch. So to get more of a rich color on there, it does take more swipes of the ink to get it nice and smooth. It's definitely easier to blend with either your regular distress tool or the makeup brushes. And I think it's just because the brushes and the foams are like a tighter, I don't know if it makes sense, a tighter weave, but because the bristles are so soft, it takes a lot of motion to get that blended. So for my next one, we're going to be doing this one horizontal, and we're going to use old paper, fossilized amber, and the stormy sky. And out of all 4 of them, I know this one is probably like a little bit more, not depressing, but it's almost like it literally looks like a stormy sky to me. But I think it just, the way the colors blend, I really enjoyed how this one turned out. And how crazy that the old paper, it has this green tint to it for me. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze and I clicked the off for the mic just in time. Okay, so we're just blending and you can see like the ink went down a lot easier, and to me it seemed to go down quicker than when I used the clarity brushes. Now I am going to show you as well in between on this step cleaning the brushes, because it's very simple. I use my microfiber cloth and I'm just rubbing and trying to get the ink off that way. If you have a little bit of difficulties, I just take some of my stamp cleaner and put it down on the cloth, and in some instances I even sprayed it directly to the brush, and it helped get some of that color off, so that way I'd be ready to go on to the next step. And I just tested it on the back of the paper that we just used, because no one's going to see the back anyway, so it's a great place to test. And then I'm just using the same thing, a little bit of the cleaner to clean up the clarity brushes as well. Now, normally you can just take the clarity brushes right to the sink and wash it, but here we are doing a video and I don't have time to stop and go and clean it in the sink. So I'm doing the same thing, only because a lot of the colors I'm using are very similar. I figured if there's a little bit of residue, it's not going to be a problem. So on this one, I went straight to the makeup brushes, and we're using Mustard Seed, Broken China, I think it is. No, this one is the Stormy Sky. Hold on, I have them written down. Yep, Mustard Seed, Stormy Sky, and then Wilted Violet. And I liked using the purple at the top, because when you do, well, at the end, I'm going to wind up making these into cards using a new to me stamp set. And I was inspired by a YouTuber, Christina Warner. If you guys ever want to get some great card making ideas, definitely watch her channel. I find her to be very inspirational, and she did a series with the ink blending with the oxides, which is awesome, like all different kinds of combos. And then one of the projects, she uses a stamp set that I'm going to be using at the end to make cards, and I'll link to her videos so that way she definitely gets credit where credit's due, because I did not come up with this. It was definitely from her, and I'm just so appreciative. My main focus is wanting to share just the different tools, because sometimes, you know, as crafters, we always want to get the latest tool out, and you know, I think it's important to know what they do and if you're gonna like them. If you're looking for more of a softer quality, maybe just something that gives a little like halo of color, then I would go for something more like the Clarity brushes, which will give you that, and it allows you to have a lighter hand than if you were to like pick up the ink with the distress tool. And yet, if you keep going, you can get it to a thicker consistency as if you were using one of the other brush forms. And you just keep blending until you're happy with how it's turning out. And where the blue and the yellow are meeting, you can see a little bit hint of the green. I love how that, you know, how that turns out. And then on the top, we're going to do, on this one, it's the lilac. Yes. So this set of 3 is Mustard Seed, Broken China, and then Shaded Lilac. And you know, the Shaded lilac, excuse me, and the Broken China, they don't necessarily like blend together that well, but as you keep working with them, I think that's what I love about the Distress Oxides the most, is they're really great to blend with. Even though you would think like, okay, these colors do not go well together, if you keep working it, you just get a really nice blend, which allows you to play around more and do different combos and try different stuff. So that's what I liked by watching all of her blending videos. So off camera, I cleaned the brushes. They're off to the side, and I put I'm trying to get a piece of paper so you can see the stamp set. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be using, and it is still pretty new to me, so I am going to have to stamp more than once. So that's why I am using my Misty tool, and I decided I wanted to ink up with the VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I don't have that new one that's a lot of people are using. I think it's the Versa Clear or something like that. I don't have those ink pads, so for me, this one is the obvious choice because you get the best coverage on your clear stamps and even your rubber stamps. When you want like a true nice black on your project, I highly suggest that. But you do have to be aware it stays wet longer than other inks because it's more of a it's not a dye ink. Let me see, it's right here. I'm trying to, Lord, I can't read this tiny writing anymore. I can't for the life of me think of what that word is. It's not hybrid. Anyway, it stays wet longer, so you run the risk of smearing your project if you aren't careful. So I'm putting each of the projects, or the page fronts, into our Miss C tool, and stamping the background. And let's see, pigment, that's the word. It's a pigment ink, so it winds up staying wet longer. Sorry, I wasn't going to rest until I get it. So I'm doing, I think this one is, it's not the last one. I think this is the one, my third one I'm doing. And I cleaned in between only because I'm trying to get the stamp conditioned. And the first two stamps, they actually weren't bad, but I just wanted to make sure everything was still kind of lined up. And I will say, two of them I kind of made a blurred effect, but it wasn't so horrible that I had to scrap it, so I'm using it anyway. But if you don't put it in the right spot, you kind of get a shadowed, like almost like a double stamp. So just keep that in mind. Luckily with this one, I didn't have to worry about it because there was a larger section of the purple where I could put the full magnet instead of just part of it. And I think you get one of the better pressing on there. Sorry, I just happened to see I got some ink on my makeup brush, so I wanted to get it cleaned off, and I was right there, so mine as well. And on this one, I just stamped it once, and really by the more and more you use your clear stamps, they get better and better, so that way you don't have to always do double stamping. And I contemplated doing maybe some heat embossing on it, but really for just this particular run, I wanted to do it with the solid black because that's the way Christina had done it, and when she did that project, I fell in love, and I just thought they were so gorgeous. So here at the very end, I've added a sentiment. I used happy birthday for all 4 cards because my thought is on this one I'm doing all happy birthdays, and then I'd like to make like 4 more cards and do ones for like thank you, and then do another set of 4 color combos and have them be for sympathy, and then another 4 maybe for like just because or thinking of you, and then create 4 individual gift packs, of cards. So you would have one of each. You would have a happy birthday, thinking of you, thank you, and create like little mini packs that I can either sell or give away as gifts. So I'm really excited. I love the blending. If you guys like blending as much as I do, just leave a comment down below. Links to scrapbookingwithme.com and their Facebook page will be down in the more section. And if you go to scrapbookingwithme.com and purchase, use the coupon code TT15. That'll give you an extra 15% off on anything that's not already on sale. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and I will look forward to seeing you with our next video.